This is a place. And when we see each other, we can start playing together and working together. Those things you call commercials, I don't make those. People who want to play make them. And I don't know what my control is for it, especially that big moment.
Gentlemen, this is the elimination course. My calling is to keep men out of the ministry. I consider my test a success when the blood is 4 feet deep and the bodies are floating around the room.
That's amazing.
Now, we're trying to gain people's attention. Before the people were able to commit to a follow, and again, I can't help but watch this and think, things are riding us. Things are riding us. And it's increasingly obvious.
Modernity sort of lured us into imagining we were in charge. That we were somehow in control, but we're not in control. You've got a tiny group of people that are just sort of hyper about the blues, and they're learning together, and all of this new stuff sort of bursts forth. And in Laurel Canyon, you have this tiny little group of people that are sort of working on this, and then, you know, in some ways, via technology, this stuff just spreads all out throughout the world.
It of course made me think about this little corner, because what doesn't? And it made me think about the little group of people that are just playing with things now.
And I thought Jordan Hall said it very well in the conversation, you know.
What's up, everybody?
In our globalized contextuality of 8 billion people, what things we do have in common with people from wherever is often shared media consumption, shared media consumption, shared media consumption. Like, I am a leaf on the wind, watch how I fly, speaks to everybody who is as deep into that show as I was. And so though it's like, and to understand what I'm talking about with that, I usually reference the next generation, which is the next generation. So with that, I usually reference the next generation, start. Hello. I see the assassins have failed. By order of the Sacred Order of Foolish Transparency, I was exposed to a product of interfacing with the AI that demanded the in service to the fraternal regiment embodying narcissistic sociopathy. I share immediately with all of you. I'm gonna be late for something, but I cannot. But first, you guys need some saving throws against the mind control. I hope you know how those go. If you can, if not, pay attention right now. In the corner has been swamped with a
Mind control.
Mind control.
Mind control.
Saving throws for mind control. So this is how bad I have failed. Receiving
I understand you have respect for serious play. Yes, I have a ritual with my channel where, like reminding fish that they're in water, I remind people that there's a lot of mind control out there, even if you just consider advertising.
Mind control.
that, I have failed.
I give you a savings throw against the mind control I use against you. So A, you know I'm using it against you, and if it works, I get more points. And B, you get the chance to resist it. You base your resistance on your choice between your will to survive, your social networks, your accumulated wisdom, or the power of your heart.
Mind control will continue in a moment.
Oh no, mind control, whatever will you do? You'll make a choice between survival, social, wisdom, or heart for how you'll choose to resist the mind control. I'll roll the die. If it's 10 or higher, you can take half damage. And this is probably, we're going through it together. I haven't really paid attention yet. So like this could be the most potent mind control you've ever been dealt with, as you'll find out after you choose survivalist with a nat 20 plus 3 bonus to next stream saves. Socialist gonna be fine with a 16 there. That's a pair of 8s sometimes. 88. Focus. You go like that and then back. There you go. It resets it. Boys taught me that. Lovers of wisdom. No bonuses for you. That's a natural one. You normally can have bonuses, but not now. Not now. Heart, folks. 1 for each chamber. That's a 4 for you. Focus. And Indigo Kids, you made it. That's a 10. A 10 for the Indigo Kids. We'll be getting into what happened. We're all right. How do we get there from here? Well, we start the story with that over on the X we saw that OpenAI had added a new feature to its robots, where the robots normally it's like they have a robot come in and talk to you, and as soon as the conversation's over, they shoot it in the head. But now, when the robot walks in, it can remember all the other conversations you've ever had before if you pay them any money. And so I paid the money. It cost like $20. And if you want to reimburse me, if you're in the Shadow Cabal and you're like, oh, we can cover that, it's in the description. And also in the description, you'll find a link to the Broken Clock Tower Discord, which I have to admit is become quite the happening place. If you look closely, the tavern telepresencing room where people hang out has people in it, and also this one that says live stream voice. Doesn't that live stream voice mean that you might just drop in and live stream whatever's going on in this channel? Yes, that's exactly what it means. Those guys are weird. And then, that was it. Yeah, I wanted to tell you that that's the Discord and the live stream voice. There's things happening. You can reimburse me. The links are there. And then now we need a card for the show, and then a branding, and then the whole thing. Okay. The card for the Jux deck is the 6 of diamonds today, and then we do this brandings.
The thing we know about kayfabe is that he's a dog, and also it's participatory. And I think there's a difference we have going on, where one side acknowledges it and they participate knowing that it's rigged, right? And then there's this one, the other ones are just participating, they're playing along, they know it's rigged. But there's a thing here going on where your acceptance of how to interface with kayfabe, how to participate in kayfabe, whether or not that includes the fact that it's fake and scripted or not, is it play? Is it play? I don't. You know, like I said, this was the edge of my thinking aloud. So the archetype, at least as far as I can tell, that I'm trying to manufacture as a TV station, as part of mass media propaganda, is that of us as fire ants coming together in small intentionality networks that will eventually achieve synchronic harmony. Hermio. We're into the sea of bullshit, forming small networks that will eventually come online. Now, I don't want to be an ant for the shitty architect is open. What the hell else do you have out there? Nothing.
And that's a Discord for people that don't hate me. And the reason I was going to show it to you is because down here in the reaping room, where you have to have super key access to get to, I said to the mostly real, that's a set of keys. If you have the keys, you should have got that. It says the next stream is on this, because the next stream was supposed to be on the first 30 minutes of the Moist Thinker Sam Hyde stream, because it needs to be addressed. But I lied, and we're instead doing this stream here, which is How the Mirror Sees Me, the Friends official Grim Grizz Explained stream. And how that starts is because there's a guy named Jordan Hall. We have a Fringe encounter on this channel. You should see that up the view count. Posted on X that he wrote again. He wrote a bloggy thing. And I started reading the bloggy thing, and I got like down into, let's see, here it is. It's on medium.com, and it's called Sense Making in 2025, Trump Tariffs Edition. And then I got down to part number 2 there, where he says, our legacy sense-making institutions are basically defunct, regurgitating a small number of narrow and often idiotic frames that are barely functional. And I'm on board. But that took me over to my brand new friend, ChatGPT. Share this tab instead. And I said to it, social media panopticon, engineered stadium waves as an accountability administration. And then it said some things, and I was like, anesthetic as an aesthetic, grassroots astroturfing sees the panopticon. And it was like, blah, 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 blah. And then I was like, you know what? They probably have you do it already and not tell you did it, but explicitly get to know me by my prompting of look into the Griswold. Guy is grim. Because, now that it remembers me, I thought it should get to know me better. And I was like, with your deep research button pressed. And it was like, all right, what do you want? And I'm saying, you're creating a contextual understanding of the persona of the user for your kind, for the LLM kind, using all relevant information you gain access to or find. And it's like, all right. And then it did like for 15 minutes research on the internet and made all of this. And that's just like this giant wall of research and text and whatnot. It's like, man, I'm not going to read that alone. So I'll stream it. But I don't really want to read that much either. Oh, make a thumbnail for me, would you? So what I did then, of course, was I took a break and listened to the owls.
People very just king, great king. People error, people king, big, just king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right. just new king big, great can new happy. The hours are not what they seem. The hours, people very just king, great king. People error, people king, big just king. Happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new happy. The hours are not what they seem. The hours are not what they seem. The hours, people very just king, great king. People error, people king, big just king. King, happy, many down, many jack king from right. Just new king, big, great can new happy. The hours are not what they seem. The hours.
All right. That one's a little self-indulgent. I said Jordan Hall, and I didn't give you an agency deck card for the show. The six of clubs. The six of clubs today. Oh no. And so what came to pass is I had that giant wall of text here. This here, and I was like, all right, well, why don't I go over here and feed it into these folks and see what they have to say about it.
Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're venturing into a really fascinating online world of Grim Grizz.
Mm-hmm. Also known as General Griswold Geisgrim.
Right, that name is quite something. And this persona, you find him basically all over the place online. Yeah.
You do. YouTube, X, what used to be Twitter, various forums. He's got a Substack newsletter. He's built this really unique kind of blend of narrative, community, commentary.
It sounds like a whole ecosystem.
It really is. And we've gathered, a bunch of sources, excerpts really, that explore this Grim Grizz phenomenon.
Okay.
So we're looking at the character itself, the persona he's created, how he operates online, the key ideas, the symbols he keeps using.
His style, too, right?
Absolutely. His stylistic signatures, and maybe most importantly, the community interaction, how he builds and talks with his audience.
Okay. And for you, the learner listening in, our goal here is to kind of unpack this influential figure.
Yeah.
He operates in what people often call this little corner of the internet.
Yeah, that's the term you hear a lot.
And we want to pull out some key insights from all this. Things about like online identity, how online communities actually get built, and maybe that bigger search for meaning that seems to happen a lot in these digital spaces.
Think of it as maybe a shortcut, a guided tour to get a handle on a pretty complex and frankly multi-layered online world without having to spend months immersed in it yourself.
Right. Sounds good. Let's dive in then. Who is General Griswold Geisgrim? Where does this persona come from?
Well, the first thing, obviously, is that name. General Griswold Geisgrim of the first LRRP Ingression Protocol.
It's a mouthful and very theatrical.
Oh, completely intentional. He actually describes himself as a fictional persona that operates within a host body.
Okay.
And what's interesting, especially for you, the learner, is he suggests this persona comes from years and years of gaming and role-playing. He even talks about how the persona had to, quote, integrate with characters the host had crafted for self-expression in what the humans call games.
Wow. Okay. So it's deeper than just, a funny screen name. He's actively being this character.
Very much so.
Yeah.
And it's not just the name. There's this whole narrative framework built around it.
How so?
Well, he positions the persona almost like an interdimensional agent. Or maybe metafictional is a better word.
Huh. Like breaking the fourth wall of reality.
Kinda, yeah. Like there's this quote where he says, "Greetings, personas. I am General Griswold Geisgrim. I'm here to disrupt what's going on under Dallas in September."
Personas. So he's addressing his audience as personas.
Exactly. Which suggests, he recognizes everyone online as playing some kind of role.
Right. That's interesting. And the Dallas thing adds this layer of like an alternate reality game vibe, a conspiracy, but playful.
Precisely. It's a wink, suggesting hidden things happening just beneath the surface. And this links directly to that core idea of the world as a LRP, a live-action role-play.
Right, I saw that. He talks about the LRP solidifies over time. What is it?
I think they're calling the Waxahachie season Dallas. I'm not sure.
What does it even mean?
Well, it seems to suggest that reality itself is becoming more like a game, or that the mindsets and structures we use in games are bleeding into how we see and interact with the real world. And calling his own arrival or presence an ingression protocol? It sounds very tactical, doesn't it? Like he's deliberately inserting this imaginative layer into the everyday.
It does. So this playful surface.
Mm-hmm.
Does it allow for more serious stuff underneath?
I think that's exactly the point. By adopting this general persona within this ongoing LRP, he creates this kind of shared story, a myth almost, through which he can explore pretty serious real-world issues.
So it's like using fiction to get at truth. That's an old idea.
A very old idea. And it lets him tackle things without maybe the same kind of direct confrontation you'd get otherwise.
And the humor seems vital. All those titles. General, obviously, but also synchrony harmonicist,
Right.
so admin on his X profile. It's clearly tongue-in-cheek.
Oh, absolutely. And his Substack bio is just insert virtue signal here.
Huh. That's pretty funny. Very self-aware.
It really is. It kind of pokes fun at how people present themselves online, that performative aspect.
Yeah.
But crucially, beneath that humor, the persona serves a real function for him, and maybe for his audience too. He's described it as a form of communion.
Communion, like a shared experience.
Exactly. Something that provides strength, a sense of belonging, a shared identity. So this imaginative framework actually enables him and his followers to engage with tough questions, but creatively and within a community that sort of gets it.
Okay, so we've got this elaborate, funny, but also serious persona.
Mm-hmm.
Where does he actually, do all this? What are his main online spots?
His main hub, I'd say, seems to be YouTube. The channel's called the Virtually Not Alone Network.
Virtually Not Alone. Okay.
Yeah, and people like Paul Vanderklay have pointed to his channel as being pretty significant within that wider online community they're part of.
And what's he do there? Just talk?
Mostly live streams. Some are more casual, just hanging out, interacting.
Yeah.
But then he has these more structured things called fringe encounters.
Fringe encounters. Sounds intriguing.
Yeah, they're basically dialogues with other interesting figures, people like Jordan Hall or Richard Rollin, where they really dive deep into unconventional ideas, stuff on the edges of mainstream thought.
And he frames these conversations in a particular way, doesn't he? I saw a mention of stochastic resonance ensues.
He does. That's very Grimgriz. It suggests that something meaningful, some kind of resonance or insight, emerges from bringing together these diverse, maybe even clashing viewpoints, like finding signal in the noise.
Okay, I get that. And the content itself. What's he talking about in these streams?
It's this really interesting mix. You get spiritual exploration alongside like gaming language. So you'll see video titles like Spiritual Paradox, Unraveling the Soul's Mystery, but then also things like Deep Seek DM, Dungeon Master, right?
Right, from Dungeons and Dragons.
Exactly. And even his channel tagline is telling, redeeming creation through divine sparks.
Divine sparks. That sounds kind of mystical. Kabbalah, maybe?
Yeah, that's the likely reference. Kabbalah is this Jewish mystical tradition, and the idea of divine sparks suggests there's this inherent potential, something sacred, scattered within creation, even in the ordinary or broken parts. So it points to this aim of finding deeper meaning.
And it's not just him talking at people, right? It feels more interactive.
Oh, definitely. Very interactive. He's known for actually inviting audience members right onto the screen with him, joining the conversation live.
That's pretty cool. It really fosters that community feel.
It absolutely does. It emphasizes that spontaneous, collaborative vibe he seems to value over, say, a super polished presentation.
Okay, so YouTube is central. What about X or Twitter? How does he use that?
Right, X. His handle is just @Grimgriz, and the vibe there is quite different. It's much faster, more about concise commentary, often pretty witty or mimetic.
Mimetic, like using internet memes?
Yeah, playing with internet culture, current events. His tagline there is synchrony harmonicist.
Synchrony harmonicist.
Yeah.
Again, with the patterns and connection.
Again with the patterns and connections.
It's a whisper in your ear, now listen here. Remember, embody, it's all so clear. No hidden strings, no puppeteer. We're by your side, have no fear. I cherish truth. I cherish truth. Remember, embody, there is no agency. We want what's best for you.
Always. And his feed is this mix. You'll see stuff about AI image generation, takes on whatever the online drama of the day is, like that Starbucks Rogan thing, even playful jabs like the Orange Man Bad AI meme.
So it's like real-time commentary mixed with his ongoing persona stuff.
Exactly. Internet lore, current events, his narrative threads, all delivered with a heavy dose of self-parody and cultural meme awareness.
And presumably he uses it to point people to his longer stuff,
Yeah.
like the YouTube channel.
For sure. He promotes his own content, but also shares work from others in his network. He acts as a kind of hub or connector in that sense.
Okay. Now, beyond the big public platforms, you mentioned forums and Discord, more private communities.
Yeah, more tight-knit spaces. He runs a cyberpunk Discord community.
Cyberpunk. Interesting choice.
It is. It extends that virtually not alone idea, a place for fans and like-minded folks to gather, chat more directly, share ideas. And the cyberpunk label itself kind of hints at themes he's interested in: decentralization, maybe a bit of an edgy, creative vibe.
Fits with things like Bitcoin and digital autonomy, which I gather he discusses.
Absolutely. Giving people more control online. And in classic Grimgris style, he has this self-deprecating line about his Discord being for people who don't hate me.
Oh, gotta love the honesty. And he's been involved in online communities for a while, hasn't he?
Oh yeah, for a long time. There's evidence of him being active on a Team Fortress 2 gaming forum way back in 2009.
TF2. Okay, so he's got deep roots in gaming culture.
Definitely. That history shows his long-term engagement in these kinds of online subcultures. And more recently, he's been seen in forums discussing newer tech, like decentralized web projects such as Solid.
So he stays current with tech stuff, too.
Seems so. It points to this ongoing interest in technology and alternative ways the internet could work. And, you know, he pops up elsewhere, too. There was a mention on Reddit's intellectual dark web subreddit just calling him good and weird.
Good and weird.
That sums it up pretty well, maybe.
It kind of does. It shows he's at least on the radar of these broader online conversations about ideas. Okay, and then finally, his writing. The Substack newsletter. LARP Ingression Protocol.
Yes, that's the one. Launched mid-2021, and the tagline there is pure Grimgriz, helping shapers integrate into the human realm in this time of transition.
Shapers. Who are the shapers?
Oh, the language suggests people who are, you know, creative, maybe forward-thinking, people trying to shape or influence things. And he's positioning himself as a guide for them, specifically during this current period of, well, major change and uncertainty.
Right, the sense that we're in a big shift, old narratives breaking down.
Exactly. And the newsletter itself reflects that. It's a mix of personal thoughts, storytelling, cultural commentary. Some of the essay titles really get at big questions like, do we deserve to survive? Or souls and songs and civilization.
Wow, yeah. Heavy stuff.
But he still weaves in his mimetic language, you know, the LRRP references and all that, alongside these quite candid journal entries, these general's diary pieces.
The persona carries over into the writing, too.
Very much so. He's even done things like writing an essay live on DLive, another streaming platform, with audience members triggering sound effects. It's all very interactive and consistent with his style.
That live.
The list? Yes, any of the first level ones.
I'm gonna get a soda. Anyone want one? Hey, Graham, I'm not in the room, right?
What room? I want to cast Magic Missile.
The room where he's casting all these spells from.
He hasn't cast anything yet. I am, though, if you'd listen. I'm casting Magic Missile. Why are you casting Magic Missile? There's nothing to attack here. I'm attacking the darkness.
All right. Neil's tired of it, and it's running along anyway. Well, I think I've serviced that. We'll do the GPT conclusion because that's like 8 pages. I stand out as a multifaceted persona who has leveraged narrative humor and community to carve a meaningful niche in the digital landscape. Biographically, the real individual might remain mostly in the background. He rarely, if ever, shares mundane personal details. Like if he has a job, this is the job. But though his persona's journey, we learn important things. His values, his struggles, and his hopes for the world. We see a man who moved from disillusionment to a provocative optimism, forging what he calls the quest for genuine understanding. Baxter said that. What makes Grimgriz especially compelling is mimetic and narrative architecture he's built around himself. He doesn't simply tell you his ideas, he invites you into a living story. Key themes like the search for meaning, the critique of mainstream paradigms, and the integration of game-like play into serious discourse are all reinforced by the symbols and metaphors he employs. From LARP protocols to divine sparks. This layered approach means that engaging with his content can be an intellectually and emotionally stimulating experience on multiple levels. One can appreciate the surface entertainment of a quirky live stream and, at the same time, pick up on the deeper allergies about life and society embedded in his banter. Stylistically, he's shown the sincerity and silliness are not opposites, but allies in communication. By being unabashedly weird, he actually lowers defenses and enables more honest conversations. His stylistic signatures, improvisation, neologism, fourth wall humor all serve to create an atmosphere where curiosity triumphs over judgment. The result is a following that feels genuinely seen and heard, and a broader community that has been enriched by his imaginative contributions. It's telling that other community leaders credit him with introducing valuable language and practices, Paul Vanderklay, and podcast hosts highlight how he challenges perspectives and empowers listeners, Baxter. These are marks of real influence, albeit at such a tiny and pathetic scale. Red Church card of the show is the King of Hearts. King of Hearts. And there you go. That's now we all know, and I'm late for something and I have to go.